Okay, good morning, everybody. Don't know whether anybody's. Oh, there's two people watching. Oh, that was quick. Um, right, so what are we going to do today? Oh, I need to turn that off. Always need to make sure you mute your output feed because otherwise people hear it, which causes no end of problems. So, what am I doing? Well, it's obvious by the title. We're going to have a look at SkyMax Pro version 5. Now, this was released last Friday. I think it was released at something like 5 o'clock Zulu time, 1700, 1700 Zulu. And yeah, there was a few issues. It seemed as though a lot of people had issues, myself included. And I mean, what I can say is that since Friday of last week, there have been 5 updates so far. 5. Count them. That's a heck of a lot of updates. I'm just trying to sort out my lighting in this aircraft here a minute, so bear with me. I mean, we're not going to be flying anywhere. I don't think we're going to be flying anywhere, but I just like to turn the lighting up whilst I'm in here. And this is the Tolis A321, just so you know. There were a number of people had problems, myself included. Darren Foe had issues. He won't mind me saying this. Darren uses a 3080 card. I'm on a NVIDIA 1080 GTX, and we were having issues. The issues were around what the weather looked like. Yeah, the weather depiction, what it was looking like, and also frame rates crashing through the floor, and really crashing through the floor. It looked pretty dreadful. So there was a number of updates. There was 5 updates. Frank Kane and John Spann both were working tirelessly over the weekend. I know Frank personally. We've met, spent time together here in the UK. John, I haven't met, but I know him personally. I've known these guys since SkyMax 1, and I don't think there are equally as hard-working developers as Frank and John, but when these guys spend the whole weekend bug bashing or bug smashing, and also asking the users for data because they need to collect data to try and smash the bugs. I mean, they are two of the hardest working people in software development for Xplane, and so first of all, before anything else, I got to say top marks, 100% to SkyMax, which is Frank Kane and John Spann, for their incredible dedication to their product and making sure that it's right and it's working. Okay, with that being said, what were the issues? Well, the issues were, it would appear, with the. Let me pull this up so I can make sure I say this right. The issues were with the volumetric beta cumulus and volumetric beta. I gotta remember volumetric overcast functions. Okay, so you've got volumetric cumulus clouds here on the left, and volumetric overcast clouds on the right. And the problem was using the volumetric stuff, and to be quite frank, when I did use it, it didn't look good at all. First of all, another friend of ours highlighted some of the issues with it, and that was before I downloaded it or installed it. And I said, no, you've got it wrong. There's got to be something wrong there. And when I say we're talking about issues, we're talking about visual appearance, not frame rates at this point. We were talking about visual appearance, not frame rates. And I said, no, you've done something wrong. So I downloaded it, as I was going to anyway. So I downloaded it, installed it, and I looked at it, and yes, the visual appearance issue was there, whereby the clouds just did not look right at all, and the frame rates were absolutely shocking. They were They were down on the floor. Really terrible. So I messed around with it a couple of times, and I installed it, deleted it, installed Ultra Weather XP to do comparisons, and then I took off Ultra Weather XP, put SkyMax Pro on again, and I still couldn't get it looking the way that I wanted it to look, or the way that it should look, against how I knew SkyMax Pro could look and had it in the previous versions, V4. So I took it off and I put Ultra Weather XP back on, and that was kind of things I was doing over the weekend, and I kind of left it at that. But was aware that there'd been a number of releases. I think I was up to fix 3 or something when Frank Kane and John started then asking questions of the community and saying, look, can you send us your data, show us your settings, show us what's wrong, we're trying to fix this, we're working hard, and at which point I got involved in the discussions and conversations and sent off my data, and they came back with another fix, and then I installed it again. I took off Ultra Weather XP, I reinstalled SkyMax Pro, and because of a conversation that Frank and I had, I turned off the volumetric stuff and I just used the particle based clouds. So these clouds down here, okay, so the 6 here and the 6 here on the right hand side, these are particle based, they're not volumetric. And I turned them on and everything went back to normal. It was as it had always had been, although the particle based clouds did look better than they had in the past. So that was kind of a win-win situation. Okay, I couldn't use the volumetric beta clouds, but I could use the other clouds, and I was quite happy with that. And then, quite suddenly, there was another fix released, and that was took it to SkyMax Pro version 5.0.5. So it was the 5th update since last Friday. And at this point, Frank said to me, can you make some adjustments in your settings? Because he was having discussions with Darren Foe and other people, and he was saying that 4K does not work with volumetric. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of resources. So he asked me if I would look at my settings and adjust them. So let's go to settings over here, graphics, and what Frank asked me to do was to turn my anti-aliasing down and turn it down to FXAA. So I turned it down to FXAA, and now to a lot of people this will sound daft. You'll say, well, why am I turning my settings down? I want to increase my settings to get the best look. But I went along with what Frank was saying, and I turned my anti-aliasing down. I think I had it up somewhere. I had it there. Or no, I had it on that one. And he then asked me to turn it down to here. So I said, okay. I left my anisotropic filtering where it was, which is, I think, on 6 times. Yeah, it's probably 6 times. So I left that there, and away we go. Yeah. So I then put volumetric beta on and volumetric. I put volumetric cumulus on and volumetric overcast on, and well, the result was incredible. Now I'm using FSGRW with real world weather connector, and just so you can see my configuration. So I've got real weather connector on. I'm using the FSGRW external injector, so I've ticked that and never changed visible weather, so my weather is as it is wherever I am. So wherever the aircraft is, the weather is depicted as where that aircraft is. Okay, so I've got that set. In flight simulation configure, I'm matching real world conditions. It doesn't really matter because it still goes to FSGRW anyway. Okay, so there we go. Apply changes. Alright, so let's have a look. Close that. come on, close, there we go, and bring up FSGRW, and let's have a look at the weather here. So at Cardiff, wind is 260 at 10 knots, temperature is 9, dew point is 9, visibility is 700 meters, and it's overcast at 31,566 feet. Okay, this is what I'm really interested in, visibility at 700 meters. So let's go outside and have a look, and I would say that that is visibility at 700 meters. Yeah, so basically it's foggy, and looking out of my window here, I'm away from the coast where I live, 15-20 minutes from the airport, and yeah, I mean, it's very cloudy and overcast at Cardiff Airport. It will be like this. Oh, aircraft taking off. Woo. There we go, aircraft taking off. Runway 12 in use. Let me just check that wind again. 260 at 10 knots. He should have taken off on 30, which he did. That is 30. What am I on about? No, that's runway 12. 30 is the other way. Anyway, that I would say is probably around about 700 meters visibility. So I would say that that is being depicted really well. But let's have a look above the cloud, above the fog. There we go, through cloud bank. We're going up, and it's supposed to be overcast at 31,000 feet. And there we are. We're above the fog, but it's still foggy, and there is that overcast layer above. Can we go up higher? Now, what was fascinating about this, and if you recall when I first started this, I was talking about the frame rates, and the frame rates were shocking. They tanked. They were on the floor. I think I was 15 frames per second, you know, which is ludicrous. Still can't get above that 30,000 foot ceiling. Okay, well, let's just get back on the ground. Come out of here. Okay. Oh, hang on, I messed that up. So W. Let me just put that back to where it was. C. Right, and come out. Okay. So let's have a look at the frame rates. Now, I was looking at this just before I started, and we were looking at somewhere 35 to 40 frames. There we go. We're in nearly 50 frames per second on my 1080. Smooth as butter, 50 frames per second, showing all this fog. Now, fair enough. Obviously, there's not a. You're going to say, "Oh, but the scenery's not drawn." Well, in Xplane, the scenery is drawn. Everything is there. If I zoom in, we can't see Cardiff, but it is there. You can just about make out Wembo television mast there, yeah, which is a few miles away. I'm moving my mouse around it, so hopefully you can see it, yeah. So the scenery is drawn in Xplane. It's not as though it's drawn as you get closer to it. So all the scenery is there, and we're producing 40 frames per second for sure. If we look straight up at the sky, if I can figure out which way is straight up, yeah, we're close to 50. And if we look straight down at the ground, 50. So let's get back on an even keel, because this, please help me out here, there we go. Looking in this direction, this kind of level is where you're going to have the most, your GPU and CPU is doing the most work, because it's drawing the graphics here in the foreground and it's drawing the scenery at the back in the rear. But still, 45 frames per second, 50 there, 52. So yeah, I would say that Frank Kane and John Spann have figured it out. They've sorted it out. They know what's wrong. And yeah, the weather is being depicted as it should be. But this is Cardiff, and I know what the weather is here today, and it's it's being shown correctly. We need to have a look at somewhere else. In the meantime, I need to check if there's for some reason chat is disabled on my live stream. Let me figure that out, because it shouldn't be. It should not be disabled. Comments are turned off. I always have this problem. Why? let me just hang on a second. Let me just learn more about comments and settings. I don't want to turn them off. I want to turn them back on. Default comment settings. How to change your default comment settings? Sign is used from the left menu. Select settings. Select community defaults. Right. Community. Will it help? Let's keep comments respectful. That YouTube have done something stupid again regarding comments, and I can't quickly find it. They've done. I don't understand what YouTube do these days. Just they make it so difficult for content creators. Even now, you know, trying to get my comments on. Chat is disabled for this live session. Well, why? I didn't want it disabled. I want them on. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now, whilst I'm trying to figure that out, we'll move to somewhere else. Now, let's go to Innsbruck. I don't know what the weather's like at Innsbruck. Oh, it's saying it's broken, so we'll have a look. That's from a custom meta. We'll have a look. And in the meantime, I'll try and figure out why my comments are off. Turn that on. Done. Yeah. Well, I can't turn that on. Channel, general, default channel. Still can't figure out why my comments are off. Damn it. Ah, there we go. So maybe that will help now. I keep forgetting that all videos on YouTube by default go to made for kids. So that might have been the issue there. We don't know. So let's come back now and see if comments are on. Yes, comments are now on. Woohoo! Okay, so hello. Right, there we are. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, then you can now put them in and I will see it. I keep forgetting that YouTube, they've changed the rules around kids. When they say kids, children over 13. So you've got to state that your video is not made for kids for commenting to take place. It's bonkers, but that's YouTube for you. So if anybody's got any questions, let me know who's watching. Say hello, say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and we'll give you a shout out and welcome you to the channel. So I am now going to Innsbruck, so we're going to have a look at Innsbruck and see what's happening there weather-wise. Mike Oxlong, good afternoon, Mike. I hope you're okay. Stay safe. Remember the saying. Face, hands, space. Okay, face, hands, and space. And protect your health services. Mike Oxlong, I'm guessing that you're here in the UK because you said good afternoon. Chad Kroger of Nickelback. Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick of sight without a sense of feeling. Oh, right. And Mike, yes, he is from the UK somewhere. Chad Kroger of Nickelback. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. Is that a lyric from a song? I guess it must be. Right. Anybody else? Say hello, say good morning here on the live stream, and I'll give you a shout out. We can have a conversation, have a chat, make sure that everything's okay with each other and the world, so to speak. And yeah, as right as it can be. Alright, so here we are in Innsbruck. Just need to sort out my weather. Okay. Let's get... so we're at Lowy, Innsbruck, start weather. Innsbruck, the weather is supposed to be visibility of 25 kilometers, sky cover 6,000 feet, broken at 7. Okay. So, which is quite nice weather, all said and done. Yeah. All right, Chad. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the drink. Have fun in the bottle. Although the bottom of the bottle is never the answer. And for those of you who are around, we were not last night, the night before was Burns night, and I forgot for some reason, which I don't know how I managed to forget, because it was on the radio and on TV virtually all day that it was Burns night, not last night, Monday, and I forgot, which meant that I didn't have my usual glass of whiskey on Burns night, but I did have my glass of whiskey last night, which is very good. Right, here we go. So we're at Innsbruck. FSGRW is reporting 25 kilometers of visibility with some scattered clouds. So let's have a look outside. And there we have it, scattered cloud, and looking pretty damn good. Now, as I said last week, Friday, it just wasn't working. It wasn't working, and frame rates were on the floor. Let's have a look at the FPS data graph. Oh, no, it's not that one. It's that one, isn't it? Let's have a look. So 40, we're holding for around about mid 30s to 40s on the FPS, which is more than adequate. And I'm just going to scroll up here, go through the cloud. I mean, just look. I mean, that looks nice. You know, you've got that kind of haze, mist in the distance there, in the valleys. I need to make sure that I'm on real world weather. You know, it keeps going back to that, and it shouldn't, because but it doesn't matter, because I've got real weather connector, FSGRW, and I mean, I suppose I could always ignore Xplane settings. So if you did that, yeah, it would always go to real world weather. But I want, because I'm using FSGRW, I want it to use that for the weather. Yeah. So back there, come on. There we go. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time to change over. Let's go above the cloud. Come on. It's locked up while it refreshes weather. There we are. We'll go try and get above the cloud a bit. So there we are, above the cloud, some nice holes. I think I've got my cloud draw at 38,000 kilometers. Okay, so Mike, you're laughing about the clouds. Just let me know what you're thinking, rather than just saying LOL. Let me know what you're thinking, and then we can have a discussion about it. You know, if you've got a better experience, then you know you need to let us know. You can't just laugh about something, because that doesn't achieve anything. Okay, so if you've got a better experience, a better mileage, as we say, let us know, and then we can have a look at that and discuss it. The whole thing about clouds, I keep saying this, it's really subjective. Really, really subjective. It's, you know, it's what appeals to you. Now, I know that this is dynamic weather, yeah, that it actually it changes, it grows and moves and changes. Excuse me, just having a drink of water. Sometimes with some weather programs they don't. I haven't used Xenviro for a long time, but I understand that the latest version is very, very good, but it is a killer. You know, you need a massive machine. I was talking with somebody yesterday who's got Xenviro. They've got a 3080 graphics card, brand new. They only got it last week or the week before, and she said her machine is struggling with Xenviro, really struggling. I mean, Ultra Weather XP, I like that. Looks brilliant. Looks really good. I've got some images of that. Let's have a look. Where the hell did I put that stuff? It's going to be in here. Output. Here we go. So this is Ultra Weather XP. Yeah, and you know, I like that. I think that looks good. Some of it, this kind of frontal system here, it could do with a bit more definition there. But that looks fine. Although there's some repetition of clouds, and this isn't dynamic. It does change, but it doesn't change on the fly. Right. Is worse than yours. I don't think my PC's bad, but I get what you're saying. So this is all Ultra Weather XP, which I kind of like. As I say, I have got Xenviro, but I haven't got the latest version, so I need to sort that out. Now this is Ultra Weather XP, and you know, I like that over there and over here. Okay. And this was me messing with some settings. Let me see. No, I think these are some of the better images from my Ultra Weather XP. This was the other evening flying down to Parma. Very nice indeed. And this was last night at Cardiff with Active Sky XP, with SkyMax Pro, and this is SkyMax Pro as well. Anyway, so those are those images of weather. So I mean, honestly, I've got to fly with this. You can see that this has changed already. It's looking different. The real test is actually flying from one place to another, where there is weather changes, and that is my hope later on this afternoon. Whether I stream that or not, I don't know. Yeah, I do want to try it out. The thing is, as I say, Mike, when it comes to weather, it's subjective, and it's how it appears to you. And if you're happy with how it looks, then that's fine. It's a little bit like FPS. I mean, we could spend weeks and weeks, hours upon countless hours chasing FPS, when in actual fact it's not really needed. As long as it's running smoothly and you've got a nice flight experience, that's all you need. So there's no point chasing FPS. I know people who say, I need 100 frames per second, otherwise it's no good. Well, if somebody can tell me the difference between 36, 35 frames per second and 100, visually show me what the difference is, then fine. Because as we well know, for the illusion of movement, the human eye can see 24 frames per second. I will admit that if you're running at higher frame rates, you might have a smoother experience, yeah, but not necessarily a more defined experience. And it's the same with clouds. I'm looking out the window here, and it's overcast. Okay, and when it's overcast, all you see is grey. And that's all I can see out the window is grey sky. I can't see any cloud definition. It is just grey. When I see cumulus nimbus, Then I see cumulus nimbus, white puffy clouds dancing across the sky, etc., etc. And so, for me, that's what I measure against. I measure against the real world. I don't measure against what somebody thinks the sky should look like. Now, if you look at Microsoft Flight Simulator, the clouds in that are just, I mean, they're breathtaking. They look great, but you don't see clouds. I've done a lot of flying in my life, a lot of flying. I've flown all over the world, and I've never seen clouds. I've never flown through clouds that look like the ones in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You know, if it's scattered cloud, you fly through lumps of cloud, yeah. But if it's overcast, you fly through grey, and you see no definition in clouds. The only time you might see definition in clouds is when you're above the clouds at 30,000, 35,000, 40,000 feet, and then you might see definition in cloud. But even then, you know, it's nothing like what you see in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the whole issue about cloud is very subjective in my view, and it's what you like, and it's what, if it appeals to you. SkyMax Pro, this appeals to me. What I'm looking at now appeals to me. What I'd like to do, but I'm not going to, is I'd like to take SkyMax out and put Ultra Weather XP in and see what the difference is. Yeah. I can't watch that. I don't think I've got links activated. That don't look like a proper link to me, mate. I'll put it in the browser, see what comes up. Yeah, it's just Xenviro. I haven't got the full link. I mean, I've seen loads of videos of you know, Xenviro and all sorts of. I have seen loads of different videos. And I've got loads of different programs. Obviously, I've got quite a few. X-Ambience, that was pretty good, but it kind of missed a couple of things. I'd like to have another look at X-Ambience, and I will get hold of Xenviro and have a look and see what that looks like. When I say get hold of it, I have got it. I just need to get the updates for it. So I need to go to xenviro.com and sort that out. In fact, I could do that in a little while when I come off this stream. Anyway, getting back to this stream and getting back to SkyMax Pro version 5, I think that what John and Frank have done over the weekend is an immense amount of work to get this working. There will always be, and I suppose there's always fans. There's fans of everything, you know, fanboys, as we call ourselves, and you know, you take what you like and then use that. So I'm not going to say that one is better than the other, because that's not what reviewing is about. All I can say is show you is what's happening here and how it looks, and in comparison to how it did look. You're looking at this here, and you see the cloud in the valleys down here, and in between the mountains, and then over in the distance there, and then you got the holes in the clouds as well. I mean, I just like the look of it. Maybe I'm not too happy about this here, that square, and this one here, and that one there. There's a couple of squares, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. I mean, it was even worse than that last week when it was first released. It was worse than that. It was really, you know, you don't see clouds like that in a square. But then again, how often are you going to be looking at something from that angle? You know, it's swings and roundabouts. It's all swings and roundabouts. You know, I'm more likely to be looking at cloud like this or flying up through it. I'll see what's happening at let's go to Gran Canaria. I don't know what the weather's like there, but we'll have a look. I'm not a fanboy of anything. I hardly play flight sim, but I can see with my eyes which add-on produces the highest quality clouds. You hardly play flight sim. Well, yeah, I can see what you're saying. You're saying you can't compare. Yeah, yeah. So I believe, but I need to get download it and reinstall it and have a look. So I can't say more than that, really, can I, Mike? But yeah, certainly take on board what you're saying. Same as anything. I've gone really hot. I think my central heating's turned on and I didn't know about it. It's quite mild in Cardiff today in comparison to the last few days. I must admit, it's lovely. So, I think I'm going to call it there for the lack of any other questions, because it seems as though, Mike, you've taken up a lot of the chat space. If anybody else wants to say something, say hello or whatever, please do. And any questions, we'll try and get through them if I don't know the answer. A bit like the new press secretary in the Biden administration. If I don't know the answer, then I'll find out. I will find it out. I certainly won't try to make something up. That would be very political there. Don't need that, do we? Let's just check this. 3.95, 0, 3.973, 3.931. Dead battery. That's not good. 4-cell battery, one of my cells is completely dead. So we'll just wait for Gran Canaria to open up, and then we'll have a look at that and see what that is like. It's probably scattered cloud down there. Excuse me. I'll tell you what we could do. We could have a look at Lanzarote. Lanzarote webcam, I think. Let's see what the weather's like there. Oh dear. Alright, well there's Lanzarote. It's very hazy. That's a live video feed of Lanzarote Airport. Yeah, that is very hazy. Although it looks nice and warm, you've got a very nice heat haze coming off the ground. And the wind is from the left as you approach, so coming in from the left. Of course, there's hardly been any air traffic going into Lanzarote in recent weeks, which is a shame, as we all know, everybody. They're having some inter-island flights, and obviously flights coming in from Spain, but not so many, which is a shame, really. It's the same all over the world, same everywhere. So it's just a consequence of the crazy times we live in. Okay, so here we are, Gran Canaria. Let's just check the weather. GCRR. No, a GC. I've forgotten what it is. Gran G. I can't remember. GCLP. GCLP. There we go. No, sky cover clear, 31 kilometers visibility. So it's fairly straightforward. Nice weather. Let's move that out of the way. Orb 505 Gaming, good afternoon. Nice to hear from you. Hope everything's okay. Welcome to the channel. I keep waiting for Mr. Beast to turn up, and dole out some money, because he's always dishing out to streamers that have no viewers. Yeah, so there we go. Gran Canaria, clear skies, 31 kilometers. Excuse me. Happy days. This is Orbex's Canary Islands scenery, photo scenery. Each island looks incredibly different. You go to Fuerteventura, which is just volcanic, and Lanzarote is a little bit the same. Gran Canaria, a couple of green bits, not many, because the Canary Islands are part of a volcanic caldera. Caldera is the edge of the crater, where the volcanic mass erupts. So apparently they're part of a super mega volcano from many years ago. Anyway, that's another story. So as you can see, once again, all looking very nice and tidy. I bet FPS is crazy here. Yeah, up in the 70s. So one thing for sure is that weather certainly has an impact on weather, and scenery has an impact on your FPS. For sure. Okay, so I think what I need to do is get a copy of XMViro. We'll give that a review, because I reviewed it an awful long time ago when it first came out. So I need to get a new copy of that and do a review of that. Once again, not doing comparisons, but just saying as it is. At the moment, SkyMax Pro version 5 has been fixed, and for some people, they will continue using SkyMax Pro, and others will use XMViro and Ultraweather XP, and that is the nature of the beast. Right. Okay. Well, there we go. That's it for the time being. I will be back streaming online as soon as I can get XMViro sorted out, and I'll probably get that sorted out today and do a live stream in the next couple of days of XMViro. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Chad, it's been a pleasure. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but nice to see you. Mike Oxlong, pleasure. Orb 505 Gaming, well done. Nice to see you. Sorry, I don't know what time you joined the stream, but if you've only just joined it, you can catch up later. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. There's lots of videos on there. Hundreds of videos on there, and subscribing really helps me out in one way or another. And also, you'll be notified of when I go live or when a video is released as well. As we all know, YouTube is crazy, the algorithms are mad, but they do like likes, and they like subscribers. So the more people who subscribe, the more people get to watch my videos. Okay, I think that's about it. You all take care, and we'll see you in the near future. Don't forget, wash your hands, wear a face mask, and make sure you make space. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Cheerio.